Today we'll be talking about Polestar. Could Polestar become the next Tesla? That's a big question. It's been flying around the internet for quite a few weeks now. It's been going around the Twitter space for quite a few months now. And with the Polestar SPAC merger ramping up, soon to be closing in the first half of 2022, well, everyone is wondering what's the future of Polestar. So Polestar sales grew a triple-digit rate last year, but from a very small base. Tesla is still the EV leading king, selling more battery electric vehicles than any other manufacturers in the world combined. And that's significant. Tesla is selling more electric vehicles than every other manufacturers combined. So here comes Polestar. They recently began selling vehicles in the United States, and that was around this year. They brought the dual model version of their Model 2, their Polestar 2, to the United States market. And they will begin producing electric SUVs in the United States as well. That will be the Polestar 3. So they will be able to compete against Tesla for sure. But can they deliver the same numbers Tesla is doing? Tesla is almost guaranteed to deliver 1.5 million or 2 million vehicles this year, especially with Giga Texas being ramped up. Now, Polestar is set to go public through a reverse merger with Guggenheim SPAC. And Tesla, on the other hand, is primarily focused on electric vehicles. They're the biggest maker of electric vehicles in the world and the United States. Cox Automotive say that Tesla not only just dominates the EV market, but Tesla also sold more luxury vehicles in the United States than Audi, BMW, Lexus, and Mercedes. BMW, Mercedes, Audi, they're known for being the most popular luxurious brand. Whenever you want to buy a luxurious vehicle, you're immediately thinking BMW, Mercedes, Audi. They're fast, they're German, they build great cars. But now people are thinking Tesla. They hold their value really well. And I'm happy to say the Polestar vehicles hold their value extraordinarily well as well. So this is just another positive. Now the electric market is getting more crowded. It's getting more crowded, but I guarantee you 10 years from now, it's going to be insanely crowded. Because electric vehicles, the difficulty is manufacturing it at mass, but it's actually not very hard to build your first electric vehicles, given that most companies can buy the parts from other companies. They can buy the chassis, the platform, the batteries. They just have to design it and assemble it together. So building your first electric vehicle is actually not the most difficult. Building, say, 1,000 of those vehicles is difficult. That's why it's so easy for companies to build their prototypes and just parade them around the entire world and get funding and get more investors. Rivian is struggling right now with that same ideal. They've done exceedingly well at getting investors to invest billions of dollars into Rivian, but they're really struggling to manufacture vehicles at mass. But they're getting better with that, they're working on that. But Polestar is still doing way better than Rivian, and I hope it stays that way for as long as possible. Now, one of the newest entrants into the United States electric space market is Polestar. They're a Swedish manufacturer, and they're jointly owned by Volvo and Geely. And it's been extremely exciting to know that they will be going public in the first half of 2022. The merger is definitely on schedule. Now, Polestar got its start as Volvo's luxurious EV nameplate, whose Polestar 1 carries a $155,000 price tag. It began selling its newest EV, the $46,000 Polestar 2 in the United States earlier this year. This made it a direct competitor to the Tesla Model 3, which has a base price of $42,700. But I do believe that this is good. You might be wondering, why is the Tesla so much cheaper than the Polestar? Well, for one, Polestar vehicles are being built in China at the moment. They're currently developing the Polestar 3 SUV in the United States, but they don't build the Polestar 2 at mass production in the United States yet, which means that they have to import their vehicle from China to the United States, which means that it's more expensive than the Tesla, its direct competitor. But you have to consider Tesla has 6 different factories around the world, and I believe at least 3 of them are in America alone. There's Texas, there is Fremont, and I do believe there is another one in America, probably Arizona, I think. I could be wrong, I do apologize. But they can sell at a much more reduced cost. because they build them in the same country that they're selling. It's easier that way. It's going to be cheaper. And this is one of the main reasons why Polestar wants to build their vehicles in more countries like the United States, throughout Europe, and throughout Asia. Now, thanks to N2 EV Bull, we got some information on Twitter in regards to Polestar valuation per stock price plus EV competitors comparison. And I find this really interesting because we get into the talks of revenue by the companies. These are revenue from Polestar, Lucid, Rivian, Neo, and Xpeng. And we've also got delivery numbers. Polestar delivered over 28,000 vehicles last year. Lucid built around 125 vehicles, Rivian built around 920 vehicles, Neo built about 91,000 vehicles, over 91,000 vehicles, and Xpeng built over 98,000 vehicles. Now, Xpeng and Neo are Chinese manufacturer vehicles. They're a Chinese company, which means that they're big competition for Polestar, or rather Polestar is big competition for Neo and Xpeng. Polestar has an impressive revenue though at 1.4 billion. Now, I guarantee you Rivian is selling a lot more vehicles this year, and they're hoping to sell about 16,000 vehicles or 19,000 vehicles by the end of this year, I believe, which is quite impressive. But all the investors thought Rivian will be doing a lot better by now, and unfortunately, it's proven to be a lot more difficult. Neo has revenues about 5.6 billion, Xpeng is about 3.3 billion, these are all in US dollars. And as for equity valuation for a company, this is putting into comparison the price per share when you consider Rivian, what they've lost since their IPO, when you consider Neo, when you consider Xpeng. Polestar will be having a modest valuation, just around 25 billion, I believe, or just around 20 billion, actually, $20 billion. So in the near future, obviously, right now Polestar is doing better than Lucid and Rivian. To be honest, they're doing a lot better than most combustion engine manufacturers who are building a small percentage of electric vehicles like Mercedes, BMWs, and Aldis. So I can definitely see Polestar catching up to Neo in the future, Xpeng in the future, probably 5 years. It will probably take 5 years, but they're ramping up heavily. Now, Tesla, on the other hand, is making 1 million vehicles per year, but they're probably going to top that number of 1.5 million or 2 million vehicles this year. So that's the question, isn't it? Can Polestar be the next Tesla? And I don't think that's a fair comparison, because just remember how incredibly long it took Tesla to make 1 million vehicles. In fact, officially, they haven't sold 1 million vehicles per year. Not exactly, but they've gone extremely close to that number, which is why we just round it down to 1 million. So when you take into consideration how long Tesla's been around, if you give Polestar the same time and patience, then it's possible that Polestar could be the next Tesla. But in my mind, Polestar is not the next Tesla. We are the next Polestar. And that's because Polestar and Tesla are aiming at complete different objectives. Polestar is aiming to compete against Porsche and the luxurious area of electric vehicle, such as the Tesla Model S, the Tesla Model X as well, and obviously the Tesla Model 3 is kind of considered to be a luxury vehicles. Given the price target, some people would say it is a luxurious vehicle, when you consider that it does cost more than 40 grand. So in some retrospect, technically they are luxurious vehicles. But Tesla is more focused on building cost-effective vehicles. They started with the Tesla Roadster. Their plan was to use that money they made from the Roadster to invest in a sedan that's a bit cheaper. That's the Tesla Model S. Their plan was to take that money, that profit, to invest in another vehicle that's even much cheaper, and that's called the Tesla Model 3. And next up, they want to take that money and invest it in a much cheaper vehicle, which should be the coupe or the hatchback, the Tesla hatchback, the Tesla that will one day cost $25,000. The good news is that Polestar is backed by Geely and Volvo, two huge vehicle manufacturers in the world. This is the support that Tesla never had, which means that this gives Polestar an advantage to catching up to the competition such as Xpeng, Neo, and Tesla itself. This gives them a huge advantage. This is great. So I do hope today that answered your question, and I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, subscribe to see more, and obviously leave a like and leave a comment. Let's keep it going, and I will see you in my next video.